Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Eve. I'm going to be talking today about the great Jupiter-Saturn conjunction as well as the winter solstice. So for any further information about who I am and what I do, my website is listed below where you can book sessions with me. Be aware I book days in advance. I have attunements on there which are a deeper form of meditation and my most recent lectures to assist you through all of these energies and gives you a lot more information than I can simply do in a YouTube video. I also have my Instagram channel listed below. I will be doing several more posts before the end of this year. This will be my last YouTube of 2020. Now I'm going to divide this video into two segments. This part I'm starting with here, I will be going over some of the astronomical, astrological, and numerological information with a little bit of tarot embedded in it. And then the second part, I'm pulling out some oracle cards that I've already pulled, and we will wrap it up with a tarot reading. And what I'm getting right now for everyone is that there are two parts to our mission, and that is why I'm going to look at both of them today. The more we come into alignment with who we really are and why we are here on a mission for planet Earth. We have a greater mission here, which has to come into alignment with the planet, with the human collective, and with all of the many species on this Earth. And then our other mission is an individual one, where we have our individual assignments in terms of who we're meant to be with or who we're choosing to be with, what it is we're meant to be working through and learning on our own individual pathway. So our mission is actually composed of two segments. Our larger mission, which is to the greater good in the community of this Earth, and then our individual unique mission, which is about who we are and how we are developing as an individual at this time. So keep that in mind as you listen to these messages. I will have all of the timestamps listed below. So let's get started here. The great conjunction is between the planets Jupiter and Saturn. It's called the great conjunction because these are the two largest planets in our solar system. They come into conjunction approximately every 20 years. This one is a very, very special one for many different reasons. The first one being that it occurs at exactly 0 degrees of Aquarius. So the very, very beginning entrance into the sign of Aquarius. Every single sign has 30 degrees in it. So when we have an alignment within the first 0, 1, or 2 minutes of a sign, it's considered extremely significant in astrology. And that's a sign of a very big new beginning. And it lines up perfectly with the tarot because 0 is the Fool. How the Fool is now entering a brand new adventure. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith into the unknown. It's on a new learning path. And that is what this great conjunction is bringing to us. A very big learning curve. We're not just going up one staircase. It's almost as if we're jumping from one bridge onto another one. That's how profound of an alignment this is. Now, what does Aquarius rule? Aquarius rules space. It rules technology. It rules many scientific fields. It's the investigation or the search for meaning and answers through science. It rules engineering and also the world of telecommunications. So when we're thinking about space and satellites and bouncing signals off of satellites, that is all ruled by Aquarius. However, Aquarius is also an air element. Like all the air signs of Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, they are concerned with communication and interrelationships with others. All the air signs consider it very important to have solid, good foundations of communication. And they make it part of their pathway to become very good communicators, to become the best version of themselves through the art of communication. With Aquarius also bringing in the elements of science and space, invention, and new technologies. Aquarius is the sign of the future. It's racing ahead, looking for what others cannot see on the other side of the mountain, okay? So Aquarius is the sign ultimately of invention. Now, in terms of the world of relating to one another and humanity, Aquarius rules community and wanting to come together with like-minded individuals and souls, because Aquarius is compelling us to be uniquely who we are. It's the sign of individual uniqueness and individuation within the greater collective. And that's why for this reading today, I really felt it imperative to look at our mission for the collective, but also then our unique individual mission, and to speak to both of them. And they both work in tandem because of all the signs. Aquarius wants to benefit the greater good. It rules environmentalism and it rules humanitarianism. Oftentimes we'll see Aquarian people involved with animals, protecting the earth, green technology. We also find them involved with great humanitarian sacrifices, okay? Aquarius wants to help the greater good. Its main concern is an improvement not only of the earth, but also of all of the species that reside here. So that is the highest vision of what we deem the sign of Aquarius. Now, every sign language, of course, has its lower frequency. And with Aquarius, I would say that that lower frequency can be stagnation, because it is a fixed sign. It's not knowing when it's time to move forward. The signs that rule beliefs and having a very strong belief system and a very strong opinion are specific to Sagittarius and Aquarius. And so for Aquarius, one of the challenges is to recognize when it's time to leave a belief system behind. When that thought form or that opinion is outmoded. It's no longer working for you. And one of the themes here with Aquarius, so one of the biggest lessons, is to learn that we all hold within us our own personal truth. And we need to respect that. Okay, so just as we want people to respect our own personal truth, we need to respect it in others and not judge it. Now, Aquarius is usually pretty good at non-judgment, okay? It's a wonderful sign of being the observer. And the other lesson that Aquarius is here to use is it's wonderful to have non-attachment. In fact, that's using Aquarius to one of its greatest levels, is the art of non-attachment. The detriment, though, on this pathway can become where you're so focused on becoming non-attached that you actually lose your humanity. You become so rational that you cannot have compassion anymore for things. You lack emotion. You become cold or so aloof that you cannot connect anymore. And for some of us, in going into this time frame, we may need to focus in on, okay, are we being so detached here that we're no longer having a connection? Because in order to create the interrelatedness here and to help the greater good of all, we have to really build upon that interconnectedness. So the pathway here for Aquarius is the art of non-attachment, while also embodying love and compassion and never losing sight of those qualities. Now, Aquarius is also the time of peace. And so like all of the air signs, but specifically Libra and Aquarius, one of their end goals is a peaceful community, building communities and cities where people live very peacefully together in alignment. Now moving on to why this conjunction, this great conjunction, is special, aside from the fact that it's occurring at 0 degrees of Aquarius, which is a brand new beginning, as the Fool leaps forward on an unknown pathway into unknown territory as well here. The Fool is taking with it, though, all of the learnings of 2020, and we'll go into that in a minute. The last two most powerful great conjunctions that are linked into this one are the one of 1405, was the last time that we had a great conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. That was on January 15th, 1405. However, that was not at the beginning of Aquarius, it was towards the end of Aquarius. But if we think back to that century, the 1400s was when the Renaissance began to flourish all throughout Europe. So it was a time of great art, invention, and civilization moved very quickly forward. It was considered a very positive time to be alive. And that was the last time we had a great conjunction in Aquarius. However, the closest last great conjunction was July 16th, 1623. And that was in the sign of Leo, in the beginning of Leo. And let's think of Leo. That was a time of great monarchies and aristocracies where people wanted to be in leadership position. Leo rules monarchies, and it does have a lot to do with aristocracies and great families. So it was the time where leadership was coming through kings and queens and monarchies and dictatorships. This time is very different because Aquarius is asking for the mantle to be handed over to the people. So the people must now be the leaders in this world. And that is how we augur in the great time of peace. That last conjunction in the 1600s was the last closest alignment of Jupiter and Saturn. This, however, will be the closest that we have ever seen, as far as I've been able to gather in terms of the information I've been looking for. Jupiter and Saturn will be 0.1 degrees separated from one another on that line of alignment, where they will literally appear as one giant planet. That is why this conjunction is so powerful. It's like a giant beam of light coming in from the cosmos, directly hitting our planet in our solar system, right? Because it's not only hitting our planet, it's hitting the moon and Venus and Mars, so it's hitting all of the other planets as well, the inner planets from Jupiter inward, which would be the Earth, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. So there's a very big alignment here of energy that's occurring. So go look that up to get more information, because I think we're living in a very different time, a very brand new time and age right now. So I want to wrap this up by just talking about the tarot and the numerology of 2020. I was guided the other day by my guides to look at 2020 as a wrapping up of all of the information that we've needed to bring with us. 2020 is where we have that hindsight, that vision where we can look back at all of our experiences and where they've led us to make the decisions we are now going to be making as we go forward. We are all standing right now on a threshold, leaving one reality behind and walking into a new one that we do not know what it looks like, okay? So there can be a lot of anxiety behind this, but I'm asking you all to take a pause here and look back over your life. What has the last 20 years since the last great conjunction in Jupiter and Saturn, which was, I believe, the year 2000, And I think it was in the sign of Taurus. Yes, that's correct. You know, what has these last 20 years brought to you? You know, what experiences, what learnings, what challenges? What do you still feel like maybe you could learn better? Or maybe you're not complete in that learning process with? Now, 2020 in the Tarot is the card of judgment. And it's about all the seeds that you've planted in these last 20 years are what is coming to roost. There's a reward, a harvesting of those seeds, whatever those seeds may be. Financial, learning, family, love, health. It's up to you to look at that. And my guides were showing me that 2020, we need to look at it from the framework of the Tarot and the 4 suits of the minor arcana, that the 2020 is a representation of the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. And for you to look at which one of those most represents where you feel you are right now. Because the 10 of each of those suits is about completion. And number 20 in the major arcana is the last card before 21, which completes the entire journey that the Fool will be on here. And 2021, we enter that last major Tarot card of the world. So 2021 is about the world. We can no longer live thinking that we are on an island or isolated from one another. We are living absolutely in a global community where everything we do affects something else, like a domino effect. And that's one of the messages of going into the world card. It's also telling us that our focus needs to rise to become one that is earthbound, where we are here as denizens and citizens of the earth. And we are here on a mission, not just for ourselves as individuals, but on a mission for the greater community of every species on this planet. And that is the biggest message that I can give you today. What are you doing for the greater good? What are you doing to continue the well-being of this planet moving forward? Because as we enter Aquarius, that's what we're going to be focusing on here. And so let's go back to the Tarot. If you're the 10 of Cups, has your journey been to achieve great love? Has that been your focus? To really reach your dreams? To have all of your cups filled, your heart filled with love? Or has it been the 10 of Pentacles that you're reaching, which is success and career? But be mindful with the 10 of Pentacles, that success can be very lonely if you don't take people with you. So each one of those 10 cards does have a downside. With the 10 of Cups, it could have been so focused on love that you've lost some of your own personal identity. Where did your dreams go to here? Have you been so focused on love that you've become codependent on other people and you've lost some form of individuality? So there's food for thought for you with that one. And then with the 10 of Pentacles, it can be lonely at the top of success, right? You need to embody sharing with other people. So both the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups is always that recognition of, with the 10 of Cups, don't lose yourself in love where your rational mind goes out the window or where you become too dependent on others. And with the 10 of Pentacles, it's where you don't lose yourself in the mundane world or the world of success and society and ambition, where you're in that lonely tower all by yourself. And the people around you only are there because you've got a lot of success and money, and they have ulterior motives to be with you. So it's being very mindful of where you are when you reach that 10. And the 10 of Swords is, I think the 10 of Swords is one of the most beautiful 10s in all of them, because it's an end to the mental stress. You've come to the end of it. You're letting it go. You don't want to carry any more swords with you. You don't want to bring anxiety with you on this journey. But the Ten of Swords is also about letting go of regret, disappointment, blame, and judgment, of letting go of all of those mind traps that are keeping you from your Ten of Cups, which is happiness. And then lastly, the Ten of Wands is all about the hero's journey. And it's interesting, if you follow the wands from the 1 to the 2, the 3, and the 4 going onward, the hero starts this journey thinking that there's only one task or one heroic event that he or she has to do. And just after the hero gets done with one part of the journey, there's another event that has to happen, and the hero has to come into that one now too. So when the hero finally reaches the Ten of Wands, the hero is tired. But there's a recognition of great achievement, that the hero has learned so much on this journey. And one of the lessons is what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That the hero has learned courage. The hero has learned perseverance. And the hero has learned how to build inner strength. So with the wands, you're building that inner strength and courage. With the sword, you're building inner mental strength so that anxiety doesn't bother you anymore. With the cups, when you get to the Ten of Cups, what you want to build is emotional strength and in deep intuition. And with the Ten of Pentacles, you want to build financial well-being, where you can finally enjoy all the fruits of your labor with your family, with your neighbors, with your community, and you want to give some of it away. You want to be in the sharing mode. And so those are the significant messages I wanted to bring for you, that my guides were bringing through to me the other day about what wrapping up 2020 is bringing to us, and for each of us to really sit in the energy of these tarot cards that I've brought up here. Okay, so now let's move on to the Oracle card messages. And I know this is going to be a long YouTube video. I had to come into it letting go of time. And I wanted to start out with the hero's journey because I've been on this journey through my Instagram. So do jump onto that if you want to follow my Mars Messages series there. And from the hero's perspective, this great conjunction in winter solstice, the message is weird is the new cool. Boldly express your uniqueness. It's time to be the real you, to not be afraid of stepping out and showing the world who you are. Because when you do that, you allow yourself to be a great example for other people that maybe want to do that, but they're too shy or they're not quite ready. And when they see you do it, that gives them extra courage to do that. I love this card though, because weird is one of the attributes of Aquarius, because Aquarius rules weirdness, being different, being outside the box, being the observer, and being the eccentric. And so we're entering a time where it's going to become really cool to be weird. I love that message. There's also another message embedded here, though, about the pot of gold, because in the hero's journey, when we get to the last cards, and this is number 48, the hero's coming back from the journey. So indeed, the hero's probably at the 9 or the 10 of Wands when we get to this card. And so it is time to reap rewards for the journey. But it's a journey well done. So there's some form of rewards that we are reaping here. Perhaps you've come to the completion of an internal alchemy process by which you have raised a dense energy into a highest vibration, which can now support you and your sacred tribe in living with more spiritual and material affluence. So this card is very much about the Aquarius energy, because it's saying that you've raised your energy to a higher vibration, which is now going to support you on the next leg of your journey. And it's also supporting your soul family. So this is a card where we're sharing our journey. You know, all heroes don't go on a journey usually by themselves. There's usually a whole bunch of heroes going together, right? Every time I think of the hero, I think of Jason and the Argonauts, or Perseus. And they all had Hercules too. They all had other people that helped them on that journey. Let's look at the last message here. It is your sacred duty now to find the words, or at least the symbols, and the courage to express them to your soul tribe, to your community, and to also the parts of yourself that did not want to go on this adventure. So when you went on this grand adventure, there was a part of you that didn't want to do this, right? And remember, we're looking at going into 2021. So we're going into where weird is becoming the new cool. There's going to be parts of you that are not going to want to go on this adventure. And you're going to need to work with yourself on this, right? So if you are being called strange or odd behind your back, then so be it. Because weird is a mantle to wear proudly. Because in being true to yourself, you might inspire someone else to be more of themselves. And when you peer outside the confines of the ordinary world, you encourage others to recognize that there is joy in being themselves. That is a beautiful message here from the hero's journey. And I also wanted to pick a goddess guiding us through this. And so feel free to call on the goddess Nike, because she's guiding us through this great conjunction and winter solstice into 2021. Look at that. She has wings on her ears. I believe the goddess Nike was either the daughter of Hermes. She was connected to Hermes for sure. Okay, she was one of the messengers, goddesses in the Greek and Roman world. So she's bringing you messages. It's time for you to listen. Getting a lot of energy around messages, really listening to your inner intuition and listening to messages coming to you from others, from videos, from books you're reading, from classes you're studying. So messages can find us in the most strangest ways, right? And they can also come as symbols. They can also come as numbers. One of my dear friends today was telling me all day in the last couple of days she keeps seeing 11 and 11, 11 everywhere. So there's a message right there. Now the goddess Nike is the goddess of ambition. So she's asking you to honor all of the things that you've achieved, to not be afraid to honor what you have achieved, because you're afraid someone is going to have jealousy or look down on you, perhaps. It's about honoring where you've been and where you are today and all of your achievements. Okay, so ambition is one of those words where we do have to be careful with it, because we want to honor and celebrate our life and our achievements, because we're honoring who we are in the process. Again, though, we want to do it where we're sharing it with others, okay? Being successful at the game of life requires you to refuse the message that you are too much or not enough. That is one of the messages that she's bringing here to you. And I want to read that again so it sinks in. Being successful at the game of life requires you to refuse the message that you are either too much or not enough. Your biggest win is to be yourself, accepting yourself exactly as you are, releasing the idea that you are flawed in any way at all, and expressing yourself with this authenticity. And this is the true power of the victory goddess Nike. So she is the goddess of victory. This is the alignment message she's bringing to us. Are you so determined to win right now that you are running like a racehorse with blinders on? So here, there's a message if you are out of alignment, okay? The out of alignment means that you're running as if you're a sprinter when the race that you're in is a marathon. Do you have blinders on? Beware of unbridled ambition and the strident need to win at any cost. So that's ambition when it's for the ego, not the soul, right? You may have become influenced only by your wants and may have forgotten to ask yourself if what you want is actually for the highest good. Is it for your highest good? Is it for the highest good of all of those around you? Perhaps the job you want so badly or the relationship you want so badly isn't what's best for you. So Nike is giving you the alignment task right now of getting real with yourself. Now, another message here is when you compare yourself with others, you can sometimes trigger jealousy and envy. So it's time to step out of that race. This is not a competition with others. So the messages that you have to watch out for here is Nike's telling you that you're on a race to win. But on that race to win, you've got to make it a marathon. And there's other people racing with you. And you want to race in conjunction and alignment with them, not against them. This is not a competition, okay? Your life is a marathon, not a sprint. Your only competition is actually with yourself. So choose now how you want to feel about your life and who you want to become, and then take the steps towards these highest intentions. And also, lastly, cheer on others who are successful, because when we share in the success of one another, we are sharing in the success of all. And learn from others and help those who are struggling, because you can learn from those who are struggling to win, because they don't know how to win. They don't know how to run this marathon. Help them. This is not a journey, again, where you're running ahead of everyone else, leaving them in the dust. The final message he wants to give you is when it's ambition only to achieve success ahead and beyond others, it's not really true ambition. Because really true ambition is when you share it with others and when you help others achieve their ambition alongside yours. This is a very, very important message here that I'm wanting to bring across for everyone, because it's letting us know what the next couple years are going to be testing us on, okay? And there is a timing message that I'm going to be going into with this as we go further into the oracle card messages. The time of Aquarius has 3 different time frames to it, or actually 4, because think about this. The next super Jupiter or conjunction is 20 years from now. So I could actually make this a 20-year YouTube video where the messages I'm bringing in are guiding us for the next 20 years. So that's what we call the background, okay? The wall behind us, the background. In the foreground, we have Saturn running through Aquarius, which it's going to be doing all of 2021 and all of 2022. So ultimately, I feel these messages here are for that 2-year window. And then within that 2-year window, Jupiter's going to be running faster. It's only going to spend 1 year in the sign of Aquarius. So all of 2021. And Jupiter is pushing us very quickly here to expand and grow in this next 12 months. And then in the even shorter distance, we have the winter solstice, which is lining up with the great Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, and it's actually lining up with the next Mercury retrograde cycle, which is all of January, February through mid-March. So we have, in the shorter version of this, these next 3 months are when we're really having our nose to the grindstone and truly planting the seeds for what this Aquarius age is going to mean for us, okay? Now remember, keep in mind, Aquarius is an air sign, so there is an element of quickness or speed that is coming in with this. But keep in mind, we have that year forecast and we have the 2-year forecast. So you have time to work with here. Okay. So let's look at the other messages. I wanted to bring out my Oracle of the Hidden Worlds by Lucy Cavendish to see what further guidance we have here from the hidden realms. And the hidden realms are all of nature, the elementals, the cosmic beings, ascended master. The hidden realms are those that we cannot see, but we know that they are assisting us. So the first message we have here is the gift. Be in the present moment and honoring of the offering. So this is asking you to be receptive, to be in the present moment, not caught up in the past and not looking too forward into the future, but be in the now. The present is all that we have right now. And without it, the future does not unfold. So when we put too much of our time into thinking about the future, we lose energy in the moment of now. And it's in this present that we are going to create the future. And that's really the message here. And the other part of this is to be receptive to what is going to be offered you here. I feel like the hidden worlds and your soul family, which is what I'm seeing coming through there with all of that light, is there's a portal right now to the cosmos that this great conjunction is opening up. And there's a greater connection that you're building with your soul tribe on earth and your soul family that's not incarnated, and your cosmic soul family. And they're wanting to bring things through to you. But you've got to stop enough and breathe and be in the present and just be in order to receive. And then to count your blessings. We can only receive, though, as much as we are open to receiving. So remember that. The universe may want to give you more than you're actually ready to receive at this time. Well, then let's take these next couple of months and year to open ourselves up more so that we can receive even more, right? Beautiful gifts coming in here. I'm going to put that right there. And the other message I'm getting from that is they're telling us that part of the gift here that we're being given with this time is to take care of the earth, that we are caregivers and caretakers of this earth. I was looking for the word here, and I'm being told we're custodians of the earth, and that we need to come into greater alignment with this beautiful planet. Okay, so let me look at the second message here. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Healing the earth. There we go. Love, humility, and respect. What did I just say? This picture brings so much into alignment. It's showing us that there is indeed so much cosmic guidance helping us and helping the earth. It's also showing us that there are some great cosmic beings that are in alignment with the earth. And in fact, I believe the earth itself is a cosmic being. And so perhaps here in this picture, we are seeing the angelic presence of what the earth is. And that the earth itself is moving to a higher dimension, a higher reality, a higher version of itself. And we as its citizens or denizens are wanting to move with it. So this is about coming into complete alignment with the earth, but it's also about coming into alignment with who we are, that we are cosmic beings, whether we are earth angels, we are what we call human angelics, we are human ascended masters, we are human goddesses, human gods, human starseeds, human cosmic beings, whatever word you want to use for it. And we are here to ultimately heal the earth at this time from the deepest cellular DNA level. We are healing the earth. And in the process, we are healing ourselves. So this is a great message of healing, okay? But the aspects that we are meant to embody here, or the attributes, are love, and that is unconditional love, and we are meant to embody humility. Arrogance has no place in this world anymore. It is humility we are meant to embody, and we are meant to embody respect. Respect for ourselves, respect for our fellow human beings, respect for all of the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, and the earth. That is a beautiful message, okay? Now I wanted to bring out my new deck. Love this deck. It's called Beyond Lemuria by Izzy. I wanted to show it to you. It is so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And the back of every card is beautiful as well, the artwork. Yeah. So the messages from Beyond Lemuria are harmonic flight. This is the twin flame card in the deck. And we have the infinity symbol there. We have the two twin flames, the symbol of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We also have the chakra colors here. We have the sacral chakra, and we also have that's purple, so that would be the third eye. So the second and the sixth chakra embodied here. And that's about moving the sacral chakra into alignment with the sixth chakra. And the sacral chakra is our place of creativity. It's our place of self-love, of romance, of wanting to build love and partnership with others. And then the sixth chakra, or our third eye, is about bringing in divine wisdom and knowledge and higher intelligence. So the other message here with the chakras embodied here is that we are bringing our relationships into higher form. And that's what the twin flame journey is all about, harmonic flight. So we are meant to bring our relationships into deeper harmony with one another. And that always begins within the self first. So I want to read from this deck because I feel like the message is very pertinent here. You know, the twin flame journey is not an easy one, because when you come into that journey, when you meet that person, there will be a spark unlike anything you've felt before. It will be an electromagnetic resonance. And in that moment, you can feel ultimate bliss and chemistry. But then also, you can get triggered, because the twin flame, or the divine counterpart, which is the other word I like to use, the divine counterpart, is someone who is not only going to open up your bliss centers and your cellular matrix system to harmonize it, it's also going to open up your deepest, darkest wound patterns. But it's so that they can be healed. Remember, our wound patterns are one of our greatest gifts. I'm thinking of what Rumi wrote. Our wound is where the light enters. And that is the message here. So when we're on the twin flame journey, or the divine sacred counterpart journey, we are coming into union through healing our wounds, recognizing what they are, and allowing the light to enter, allowing that bliss to live and breathe through every cell in our bodies. This process is not easy, but it's part of what the ascension is all about. And in fact, I'm going to say that it is the ascension in its completeness. We come into inner and outer wholeness, and we do that in alignment with others. I get so many messages from this card. It's unreal. Okay. Harmonic flight. When we can see and be seen, disarmored and trusting, we can come to deeper love. However, this deepening process can trigger the release of outdated and unhealthy patterns. Thus, shadows may be brought to the surface so that they can be healed. When we feel safe in the arms of our beloved, our defenses yield, so we fall further into our hearts. However, fear-based reflections or projections can also surface in this place of deep vulnerability, and subconscious behaviors, including childhood patterning, can also then present itself. Okay? It can seem as if our partner is provoking difficulties by bringing things up within us and making us feel like our whole world is about to fall apart. At this point, we may want to retreat, but if we can, however, do just the opposite and be truly present, then we invite the light to enter and our fears can begin to fall away. And this now becomes the expansive experience. Okay? Harmonic flight shows us that when we harmonize our energies with that of another in any form of relationship, we can soar to the sky. We can guide each other higher and higher by encouraging all that has been weighing us down to drop away. Okay? This is telling us there could be one of the other messages from this card is it's letting us know that there are some very profound connections that are divine unions and sacred counterparts that are coming into our lives at this time. And, I'm not going to just say or, I'm going to say and, that some of the relationships that we are already in are going to move to that level where they were not there before. Okay? A very, very powerful message here. Now let's look at what is going to bring us into that harmonic flight. Freedom. We cannot do this if we are imprisoned in belief systems that are outmoded and that are keeping us down. Freedom means that at any given moment you have choices. So if you're in a life where you don't feel like you have choices anymore, then you don't have freedom. You are in a prison, and you have to ask yourself, is this a prison that someone else created? Or is this a prison of your own creation? Sometimes we are actually imprisoned by others, and we don't always realize that. And in certain places, that prison is very real, where we may not have a lot of choices. But no matter what, as individuals, no matter what prison we may find ourselves in, we have freedom. And if that freedom is only the freedom to think differently, then that is where we must first begin. But this is about freedom to speak your truth without judgment from others. But it's freedom to listen to others without judging them. Because as you ask for that freedom to be given to you, you must also give it out in equal doses. Okay, so freedom is on so many levels. It's freedom to be accountable, because you don't have freedom without accountability. Ultimately, what freedom means is whatever pathway you choose, you're going to have accountability for that pathway. And that is what true freedom represents, where you are the magician on that pathway. And the magician was coming in for me for some reason as I was doing this. I feel like that alchemy is present here in this reading and moving forward. The dragonfly in the sacred Native American medicine is the breaker of illusion. It's asking you, what illusions are you carrying that you need to break through in order to bring about absolute freedom? Freedom of thought, freedom of emotions, freedom of being exactly who you are, your authentic self. Freedom to love who you are really meant to love. And that is beyond all of societal's constraints, okay? It's a freedom beyond any words I can possibly bring in here. And then the last message is, on the harmonic flight and the embodiment of personal freedom, we bring in the unlimited self. And to do that, we must work through the crown chakra. The crown chakra is the 7th chakra leading up to the 8th chakra, which is our star chakra. So from the 7th chakra, which is our crown, the top of our head, we connect with divine higher mind. We connect with our higher self, with our soul family. And we connect with our star chakra, which is the 8th chakra, which is the higher embodiment, our soul monad group. And so it's asking us that we need to be doing work on our crown chakra here, working through opening that up to become more and more of our unlimited selves, okay? And that in becoming that unlimited self, we are coming into these beautiful, sacred, divine unions, okay? Beautiful messages. I'm going to leave the oracle card messages here, and I'm going to complete this with the tarot. And I love Tori Hartman's newest tarot deck, the Chakra Wisdom Tarot Guidebook. And I love it because she brought in the tarot with the chakras, some numerology, and some astrology. So she's really bringing it a much greater embodiment of the tarot. And so this is where some of our more individual messages are going to come in. And I picked 5 tarot cards. Maybe one card will specifically speak to you, maybe all 5 of them, or maybe only 2 or 3. Please follow the guidance of your heart here. The first message is the 2 of Swords. A lot of messages here, but I first want to look at the chakra. It's the sacral chakra. So we're back to the orange color, the chakra number 2, and it's ruled by the moon. So the sacral chakra is about that personal creativity, about wanting companionship, wanting to connect romantically with others, wanting to build a family with somebody, which is absolutely the moon's energy. So wanting to have family with others, okay? Wanting to have intimacy with others. And the moon is about following our emotional guidance, our intuitive guidance. Yet here with the 2 of Swords, we have an interesting paradigm, don't we? And I'm going to go into the different perspectives here. That's the key word I'm going to use with this card. It's about perspective. Number 1, she has a blindfold on. Is there something she doesn't want to see? Or is there something she cannot yet see? Yet she is illuminated by the rays of the sun. She's illuminated. The wisdom she wants, or the wisdom that's around her, is there. It's not missing, but perhaps she doesn't want to see it. She has those blinders on. She's running so quickly that she's not stopping long enough to perceive what is around her, okay? So it's about what in your life are you not seeing, or that you don't want to see at this time. Again, we're going back to the idea of the dragonfly and the breaker of illusion here. That's one perspective. The other is the blindfold could be on her eyes for a very beautiful reason, so that she closes her eyes and goes within and listens to her intuitive body, not her rational mind. That the answers do not lie in her rational mind, that they lie within her intuitive emotional body. And that would be true if we're looking at this card from the guidance of the moon, right? To follow your intuitive emotional body, that the answers you seek lie there. And I'm almost leaning a little bit more towards that perspective, but I'm aware that throughout this winter solstice and all of next year and the next 2 years, as you read this message and come upon this video, and I really do invite you to listen to it many times, because each time you do that, something different is going to resonate with you, okay? Remember, this is a timeless video. Both messages could resonate, that you're going to go inward and listen intuitively so that you can figure out what blinders you have on, right? And ultimately, the 2 of Swords means that there are choices ahead of you and that there are decisions that you need to make. Pause here, reconsider, think deeply about them. But don't just think, feel it through as well. When you do it through both your rational mind and the gathering of information, the Two of Swords is an air element, so you do have to gather information. It's important that you become informed so that you can make a discerned decision, but you also need to tap into your emotional, intuitive body, okay? That is how you will get the Two of Swords to work for you, and that light will fully illuminate you. But you do have a decision awaiting you, okay? So I don't know how many of you that applies for, but I feel like it's going to apply to many of you. And the next card is the Queen of Cups. And in this deck, she is magnificent. And she is the third eye, so chakra number 6. Right away, we're diving into the harmonic flight energy, aren't we? So I do feel like these individual messages are about relationships in our life. And the Two of Swords is telling us that we have a decision to make in terms of the relationships in our life. And the Queen of Cups is inviting us to make the decision for our heart, for our well-being. That if we're going to err here, we need to err in favor of our heart, not our mind, okay? Because the Queen of Cups ups the Two of Swords on any day, right? She's the queen. The 2 is only number 2 on the journey, right? The queen embodies within that single cup there all the 10 cups. She has learned emotional intelligence. She does not descend into drama anymore. She's in control of her emotional well-being, and she's highly intuitive. And with the 6th chakra, her third eye completely open, she has wisdom now, that emotional wisdom to choose the right cup. Whatever cup is being offered to her, she's going to choose the one that is right for her. Remember, I'm saying she only because that's a picture here, okay? So whoever is watching this, whether you're male or female, please know this is regardless of gender, okay? It's beyond gender. But whoever's offering you this cup, you're going to take the one that is in alignment with your emotional well-being, okay? And this could also mean that you have a full cup now to give to someone. This is a beautiful message. And the planet that rules the Queen of Cups is Jupiter. And Jupiter is telling us that there is an expansion of our heart happening here. Our emotional body is indeed expanding even further. I love that message. I want to just dive into the book here to see if I can get some more messages here. Let me pause that. Alrighty, so for the Two of Swords, the contemplation message is you may never be ready to change the status quo, but you may need to take action anyway. I was feeling like there was a very significant message with this, and I'm being reminded by my guides that the Two of Swords can sometimes represent a card of inaction, that you feel so pulled between opposites or two different things that you may not know, you may not want to make a choice, and that there's a fear of moving forward here. And so the answer is that it's time to take action regardless, okay? So let me look at the contemplation message from the Queen of Cups. Draw on what makes you happy about your life, about your family. So it's drawing on your happiness. Key words: calmness, being gifted, artistic, a dreamer. Breathe and lean into a past that goes beyond you, into an emotional memory from your ancestors. So there's a message here from your ancestors as well, from the Queen of Cups in this deck. And that would be true with Jupiter. But the message from the ancestors is from your ancient ancestors. And it can be from your soul family, from all of that long lineage of people that came hundreds and thousands of years before you. So there's a message coming to you from your ancient lineage here. is what I'm getting as well. So that's a message to contemplate, okay? So let's look at the further messages from the Tarot. We have the Knight of Swords. I love this card. Again, we have a swords message. So this is a time of action, okay? We have 2 swords here. That means it's a time that we need to be taking action. And the Knight of Swords, all the knights are about action, where the pages are more about messages. However, with the Knight of Swords, it can come both ways, as literal spoken messages, but also someone taking action. What I want to really delineate here, though, is that we're now at a time beyond words. Words are not enough anymore. You have to get on your horse and speedily come with your sword lifted in the sky to set an intention. I'm getting a quickness with this card for some reason, a feeling like something is coming in very quickly or needs to. And that could be perhaps a knight coming towards you with a very significant message. And maybe they're bringing an action with it, because that's what a knight needs to do. The message itself will not be enough. And I'm being told that there's a truth coming with this. The Knight of Swords in this deck is the bringer of truth. And the chakra here is the 5th chakra, which is the throat chakra. So there are messages of truth that are coming towards you, and they are coming very quickly towards you. So have that extra awareness. And this can also mean that this is you, that you need to bring messages of truth to others in your life right now. But most importantly, you need to get on your own horse and speak your own truth. And to know that you can do so with that sword of light in your hand. And that sword is Excalibur, Archangel Michael's swords. It cuts through all illusions so that this truth can be spoken clearly, honestly, and with discernment. Okay? No bullshit allowed here. That is a beautiful message. A lot of action here, a lot of truth. Time for deep truths here, right? And so the last 2 cards, the world. Yep, and we are going into 2021, which is the world, right? Number 21. A lot of messages here. The world awaits you. You're completing a cycle now. And I wanted to say also with the Knight of Swords, you may be bringing a truth to someone, or they may be bringing a truth to you. And it's about the truth. It's not about the outcome. So if you're bringing a truth to someone and yet they close that door to you, please know that you did everything in your power and that this connection is complete if that is the case. And it could be working the other way around, that someone is bringing a truth to you that's been long overdue, and you listen to it, but you're in a different place today, and you need to say goodbye and to thank them for the message they brought. So please know there's an energy of completion with the Knight of Swords, okay? Whether it's a new beginning with someone in your life, or whether there's a positive resolution of something that you never thought you might get, okay? So the world is at your fingertips here, even if that means there's a positive resolution or completion to something in your life, okay? Now the other message of the world is it's time for you to embrace the world, okay? To embody your inner world and to also embody the outer world, to be here on planet Earth working in alignment with her. So it's a world message about you coming into wholeness and inner unity, and also wanting to come into wholeness with others, to form relationships with others that are mutually loving, supportive, and kind. Kindness is a very big word here, okay? But the world is awaiting you. Oh, wow, that's what I'm getting. The world is awaiting you. It's awaiting you to stand in your authentic power, which is what we got in the beginning from the hero's journey and the goddess Nike, right? To not stand back from the applause, to be who you are on your stage, but to share that stage with others, right? That's the world. We're in this together. We are all in this together. And the last message of the world is that you are ready. You're ready for this assignment. Okay? And that as you say yes to it, all that you want is going to come into fruition. Okay? Your dreams are coming in. I didn't originally pick a fifth card, but I was told to pick one. And so this is the bonus card. And it's what I will wrap up this video with. So when we deal with the Two of Swords, when we become the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords, because we're becoming both. We're speaking our truth and we're embodying our heart and our intuitive bodies, our emotional intelligence and our mental intelligence. We then open ourselves up to the world. And in doing so, we get, I couldn't believe I got this card, it's beautiful. We get the Nine of Cups, which is the dream fulfillment card. All of our dreams will be handed to us, right? Because we are doing what we're meant to do. We're becoming truly a citizen of planet Earth. And we're also coming into union within ourselves. We're coming into our cosmic beingness. That is the ultimate final message here. The Nine of Cups is a beautiful card. And I like it too because we have two colors here. We have both the red and the orange, so the root chakra and the sacral. We are getting our wish of passion. So it's Mars energy, I believe, for the root chakra, yeah. And and it's also the sun energy. And the sacral is the moon, so our wishes are coming into being. We're getting our passions met, and we're also getting our emotions met. See how she's holding that cup. That is a beautiful, beautiful reading. Okay, everyone? I'm going to end it with that. Please come back and listen to this at different times. Know that the timestamps will be below. I think I'll list the Tarot timestamps, the Oracle ones. So I'll be having 3 timestamps listed. I wish you all beautiful, beautiful blessings, and may magic find you as we enter 2021. God bless you all, and Goddess bless you all.